Okay, as usual, inadequate planning has meant that I've ended up where I want to be later than I want to be, and thus cannot go to where I really want to go. Um, I'm staying around an area called Bayan Lepas, although this is a fucking huge problem with Malaysia. It's always the same in Asia. You ask for someone for directions, they don't know, fair enough. They tell you the wrong direction, whatever. Um, Mind you, a few people here have said I don't know directly, which is good. But you honestly travel around Asia, ask for directions, they just tell you whatever if they don't know. Seriously, it's fucking annoying because you walk the wrong way, obviously. And anyway, um, I have had a few people tell me they don't know they're here though. But anyway, the thing that I'm particularly annoyed about them, it's like every direction you get from everyone is different, and you get on the bus and you're like, oh, I want to go to Bayan Lepas, and it's like, oh, this bus doesn't go to Bayan Lepas, and it's like, well, it goes to Queensbay Mall, right? Yeah, it does. The Queensbay Mall's in Bayan Lepas. You know, in terms of district or town, I think different things with different names. I think there might even be Bayan Lapas and Bayan Lepas, one with an A and one with an E, and that might cause confusion. I don't know. I hardly know anything to talk about it, but regardless, I did actually get to the hotel quite easily because I just staunchly followed the address. I just searched the map, literally manually on the map on Google Maps. Fucking hell, it worked. So anyway, I'm here, right pissed off with Booking.com. More expensive than the walk-in price. Seriously, when have you ever heard of that? Booking.com is normally much cheaper, and here the walk-in price is lower than I fucking booked it for. So, very annoyed about that. And annoyed because what I really wanted to do was go on to the next little town, a place called Batu Mung, something like that, where I am told they do the best curries, right? The best curry noodles, the best all that. I mean, me laksa today, bit disappointed because it's a sour laksa. I didn't expect that. I mean, it's not. It was alright. Don't get me wrong, it tasted good. And the Malaysians on the next table told me, yeah, it was the real deal, authentic. So I'm pleased I had it, but I wouldn't order that again personally. Not quite my cup of tea. Um, but I wanted to go down there and get a real creamy Penang style curry. Anyway, noodle curry apparently is the one, and it's too late. So anyway, to the pub it is. But I'll just show you the room which I've overpaid for. And again, rooms in this area in general are pretty overpriced. That's 140 ringgits worth. I mean, I suppose it's about going mid-rate, even around Georgetown, but, you know, it was the cheapest available, and it's clearly a right low budget room. This should be about 90 or something, do you know what I mean? Well, it's fair size. But anyway, the really interesting part is this. Now, in my experience, the bigger the shower head, the shitter the flow. Yeah, these kind of impressive looking shower heads are purely visual in my experience. I've been in bare hotels where it looks like that. Whoa, big shower head, really shit. Check out that beauty. Come on, you ripper. So I'm gonna have some of that, and there's a big shopping mall across the road. I'll check that out. Yeah, this it's a bit further down the coast from Georgetown, so I've come down to see what another sort of development is like. Basically, beyond this will be the old style kampungs, yeah, the villages, which is where you get the pucker food apparently, but I can't go there now. And this is just a new development, new shopping malls, kind of western orientated bars, new housing developments. That's what this area is all about, new high-rise housing developments. This is going to be Penang City or something. It's going to be coming up here soon. So yeah, this is a place for the future, I suppose. Bayan Lepas, I think, maybe near the Queensway Mall anyway. Queensway, Queen, doesn't matter, does it? Just doesn't matter. Water's not hot though. That's pissed me off as well. I mean, you don't need hot water in Asia, but you fucking expect it for that price. And when it says so on the map, I tell you what, booking.com are getting fucking written to over this. Not to complain about the hotel, but them charging me more than the walk-in price. The fucking cold water shower. Cunts. So I'll just give you a quick sort of peek at what kind of area this is. And this kind of area is cropping up everywhere over Southeast Asia. You know, high quality housing up there, yeah, luxury apartments. Well, I don't know if they're luxury, but they're certainly for the middle classes, expatriates, and for that reason you get these rows of clearly newly built shops, right? All kind of designed to a registered format, you know. This is not like in a real city centre that where, you know, one building was built this year, another building was built another year. You see all these different kinds of you know, architecture and all that. This has all been built in recent years, you know, all hired out in recent years, because this is a new area to cater for new business, for new money, you know. English school over there is like 3 or 4 English schools in this small area, which is another sign of A, middle class, and B, expatriates. So this, I dare say that a lot of people, perhaps from mainland China, maybe even Japan, Korea, are coming to live here, and it's another sign of that sort of thing, sort of expensive looking Japanese restaurants, you know. Yeah, this kind of area, you see it a lot in like Indonesia. I dare say they're appearing in Vietnam now. They probably have them in China, you know, and it's all based around this huge shopping mall, an absolute fucking beast of a shopping mall, and in there you're going to get everything you could possibly imagine. That's going to be better than any shopping mall in the UK or the USA, you know, for sure, man, for sure. They're going to have the fucking lot in there. So this is the future. This is the way that things are going in Southeast Asia, as they you know, embrace the Western economy ever more. There's more you know, clearly new apartment blocks and probably very nice apartments inside, you know. You know, monthly rents are going to be quite different to what people, you know, the average person would have been paying in this country for many years. There's a TGI Fridays down there. There's something, the HSBC Bank there, the World Bank. Yeah, are they fuck? I went in there once, right, because I was living in Taiwan. So I was like, oh, I'll go in HSBC, I'll sort out a bank account. They said, oh, yeah, it's going to be separate. Your bank account's going to be in England. It's going to have nothing to do with, you know, an account in Taiwan. And just basically all this usual shit. Banks are thieves. Oh yeah, on the subject of banks being thieves, now obviously it goes without saying banks are thieves, but fucking Halifax at the moment, they're charging me on every transaction a fee of like 2% or something, and a conversion fee of like 3%. So I'm paying like 5% on everything. And you know, when I'm drawing out £500, that's like £12, 13, 14. You know what I mean? It's not on, man. For what? For fucking nothing. Like it costs them anything to do digital transactions. I'm in a complaining one this hour, aren't I? But you've got to fucking complain sometimes, mate, because we are getting fucked. But hey, we can buy whatever we want whenever we want, so it's alright, right? So this is the Queensbay Mall. Immediately you can see what it's all about. This is like what the malls are like in Indonesia, basically. Just immense, got every name brand in it that you care to mention. I mean, there'll be tour buses pulling up here, like Chinese people and that had just come here to like shop, you know. So, I mean, it's cool, you know. It's nice, and as I say, it is nice to just walk around the mall, have a bit of air conditioning, and like check out women, basically. And if you want a bit of Western food, or you want to buy some familiar merchandise, but it's going to be more or less the same price as you pay at home for any of this, any of these name brands that you recognise, which is basically all of them, right? It's going to be more or less the same price that you pay at home, so be warned of that. But like, it's like, yay, I'm on holiday, let's go shopping. That's how people think. I don't know why. This is strange. Clark's in Malaysia. Why is that? And now, and that's another thing as well, because that's like a name brand, and like we know that Clark's is shit, right? But people over here, they'd be like, oh, it's a Western brand, it's a massive Western brand, and they'll pay for it. So probably the Clark's shop here is probably more expensive than the UK. I'm not going to go in and check, because I'm not that interested and you're not that interested, and if I find out that is not the case, then it's going to invalidate what is otherwise quite an interesting remark. Now the food court's always going to be good. The food court is definitely going to offer loads of options, so that's always going to be worth a punt. There's the old shitbucks over there. That again is going to be overpriced, just the same as it is in the UK, you know, or USA, or wherever you are watching from. Why anybody goes in these places, I do not understand, you know. I mean, you get Wi-Fi in there and that sometimes, so I suppose that's handy, but for the most part, I mean, look, there's another one. TGI Fridays. I do fancy it though. I look at that and I do quite, it makes me want to have a burger, I'll be honest. Levi's shop. Again, you'll pay less for Levi's in America, I'm sure of that. I'm not going to check. My god, this place is fucking huge. I've been back and forth around. I start finding bits going different directions and different directions. I'm in the central zone now. There's like an east wing and north wing. My feet are actually hurting from walking around the whole mall. I think I've got what I came for anyway, apart from food. And I'm sorry to say, I've seen a Pizza Hut and I think I'm going to have a Pizza Hut. I know it's a terrible, terrible thing to do while I'm in Malaysia, but I'm just thinking I'm going to be probably in the jungle next week. So why not have a Pizza Hut today? And they're not cheap, man. I mean, I was saying to you how expensive Pizza Hut is in Thailand. It's more reasonable here, but it's still not cheap. And when you consider that it's basically shit, you know, but I fancy it. I'm going to have it, I think. So, anyway, this is what I was after. Funny story attached to this, right? See that? You probably can't work out what that is. That is silica gel, right? So it absorbs moisture. So I put it in the bag with my laptop or my camera, and this will absorb the moisture, which is going to be invaluable when I'm in the jungle, right? So, yeah, got some silica gel. Can you read the price tag? Hang on. You see that? 109 ringgit, right? Now, I went in the first shop, it was 69 ringgit. I think 69 ringgit is about £10. So, I would have paid that, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? 10, 12 pound. Probably would have paid that. But I thought, I think it's expensive, you know. So it seems alright to me, thinking what would I buy for that in England? It's probably like 10, 15 pounds, right? So probably I could have paid that. Anyway, I went in another shop. I said, do you have silica gel like this? Blah, blah, blah. They've got this one out, £109, more expensive even, more expensive. So because I was like, oh, that's a bit expensive, they checked their price list and they're like, oh, you know, can discount. How much? 20 ringgit, yeah? Kwai. From 100 ringgit to 20 ringgit with basically no discussion whatsoever. It's just, yeah, they said, oh, I think this one's 20 ringgit actually. I said, why does it say 109 ringgit then? And they said, you know what the response was? He said, well, if you want to pay your 109 ringgit, then you can pay it. You know, and like I say, this kind of shopping mall is designed for like mainland Chinese, Japanese expatriate people, their families. They are, you know, probably Western people and all that. They come here, they spend all the money in here. You know, the middle class of Malaysia, yeah, they'll come here too. But there'll be tourist groups, tour buses from China will come here just to shop. That's what this kind of place is built on. That's what this kind of place relies on. Yeah, and a Japanese guy is going to think that that's very reasonably priced and just pay it. So that's why it's got the label on. But you know, a local wouldn't pay that really, and they've given me the local price. Bless them. I said, is it Lawai price? And they were like, yeah, basically. So there you go. You can even haggle in the shopping mall. Look here though, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I don't even know where I am now. I'm like literally lost. How do you get lost in a shopping mall? All this stuff's quite interesting actually. You see a laser battle up here. Seems like in the shopping malls in this country you got things like that, laser tag, and I saw one, a Japanese invention again in Georgetown. That was like a puzzle game. You got to work out how to get out of the room, a bit like the Crystal Maze. So I mean, they're like a fucking modern city within, because this, as I say, near around this area it's going to be all the kampungs and that. So that's going to be real local living. Nothing like this. You wouldn't find anything, you know, even remotely approaching this. And instead of having streets full of things, this is the street, you know. The shopping mall is the city, the modern city. As I say, Indonesia's got shopping malls like this, loads of them. But yeah, I was surprised to find it here. Not that surprised, but anyway, I didn't think they had them here. It keeps going on. Just when I thought I was at the end, we're now going up another escalator with Mexican dining up here, Korean over there, Japanese here. This is all Japanese actually. But you know, down the other end, all Western stuff and that. Fucking amazing, really, isn't it? Like I say, we don't even have anything of this level of quality in the UK or the USA, I don't think, do we? It's absolutely, you know, and you got to ask yourself, who's spending this money? Is it possible to spend the amount of money that surely needs to be spent to keep a place like this open? I don't think it is. I don't think every shop in here can be making an adequate profit. You think about this, I always used to think about this in Indonesia as well. The air conditioning alone. You know, I'm not gonna like say how many, like, you know, square meters it is, but it's a lot. And just the cost of air conditioning alone in a building like this is gonna be very high. And then all the electricity for every shop. I mean, obviously things don't cost as much. You know, they haven't got these inflated charges attached so much as we do in our countries. Oh, there's the laser battle now. So it's gonna be like Quasar or something like that, I imagine. Yeah, so obviously shit doesn't cost as much in this kind of, they don't pay as much for the utilities, but it's all about branding, you know what I mean? It's all about style. And again, I would have said it about any shop in the UK. How can you go in like something like Curry's or Dixon's, PC World it is now, isn't it? You know, there can't be enough people buying televisions and computers every day of the week to have shops that size open everywhere. Can there? What do you think? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are literally that many people in the world and that many people, but how often do you buy a television? It's got to come to a point where like everyone in your town has already bought a television, hasn't there? So, you know, in general, shops like that, how do they stay open? You know, it might be a clue that obviously Currys and PC World amalgamate. A lot of these shops don't stay open, but you know, and these shops won't be open. Oh, this is one of them. Yeah, Mission Q. This is what I was talking about. 5 unique adventurous escape games. So you're trapped in a room and you've got to work out with clues how to escape. Now I know I'm the lonely wanderer, but I would feel really lonely going in and doing that by myself. So unfortunately I'm not going to try it out, even though I really want to. I'd have to have a group of friends for that. Look, more food. Portuguese grill. Oh, they got Nando's downstairs as well. Western cuisine there. Yeah. Just fucking everything. So much stuff. It is just unbelievable. Like Indian food over the other side. Puff and pie. Whatever that is. Oh, that's traditional. Youtiao fried rice. If you like a long dumpling. They eat with porridge, congee, you know. So you got your traditional Chinese stuff, your like modern day fusion things, fucking everything, the lot, you name it, they've got it. In addition to, I mean, it's a great place to come for food. These kind of shopping malls are a great place to come to eat. You come to these places, you can eat, you can experience air conditioning, and you can check out hot women everywhere, man. It's like, you know, women get dressed up to go to the mall. Do you know what I mean? Well, I don't know if they really get dressed up, but they fucking look good, man. Yeah, a lot of people will be here doing that, do you know what I mean? People will just be hanging out here because this is a place just to come for a lot of people and just going to hang around, do you know what I mean? Which is the same in any part of the world, but particularly in this part of the world. You know, this is like a whole new experience. There's a massive one in Singapore. There's got big ones in the Philippines actually, and people are like, oh, have you been to S&M Mall? I think it's called that, S&M Mall in Philippines. Like, I'm like, why would I go there? Why would I go to the mall on holiday? But like, yeah, it is a new experience for people in this part of the world. And look, they got Game Centre in there as well. You know, it's a cinema there. All these big malls, yeah, they have a cinema in there. So again, it's another good reason to come to the mall. If you want to go to the cinema, you need to come to the mall, basically. You know, I've seen some in this country, I think, but in Indonesia, I don't think you have a cinema unless it's inside a shopping mall. So, or a nightclub or a bar, in fact, a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. A lot of the good nightclubs and things in Indonesia, some of the upper class bars, the quality bars, fashionable bars, yeah, a lot of them, they're all inside shopping malls. So it's just the whole world, do you know what I mean? All Toys R Us over there. Whenever I see something like that, Toys R Us or Hamleys, you do think, oh, I want to go in, don't you? Alright, but coming back to the important point, coming back to the salient point, you see, even I am hypnotised by capitalism. And this was the point I was going to make. The hypnotism that's going on. That is the purpose, you know? There ain't enough money being spent to justify all this being here. I promise you that. There's no way in the world that people are spending enough money to justify every shop in here being open. But the name of the game is hypnotisation. Yeah, is that a real word? I always do this. Making new parts of speech. Hypnotisation, is it a real word? I don't know. But the name of the game with a place like this, with your whole high street in the town where you come from, with every shop being in every town, it's branding. It's to, you know, hypnotise you basically and trap you into a world of consumerism. And it fucking works, man. It really works. Because you walk around this place and there's just so many options. Do you know what I mean? So many things to see. So many things to enjoy with the eyes. Lego shop, man. Come on, that's almost irresistible, isn't it? Don't you feel that? Even you're watching this video now and you're like, oh, I'm going to go to that mall and I'm going to go in the Lego shop, I think. And yeah, it's almost, it is hypnotizing you. It is mind controlled, you know what I mean? It is actually making you like, it's getting these people that never had this before for so many years, it's getting them to buy into a whole new world, you know? It's absorbing them and helping them accept materialism, you know? It's helping them accept capitalism, because it didn't mean anything to them before, and now it means so much. Now it is like the new way. Now it is the way that you must be. It is the way that we all must be. It is the only way that we can be complete, is to participate, you know? And it's keeping up with the Joneses again, you know? My friend bought this and I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy a better one. And I had number one last year, you know, with a certain eye-related product that you get every year, a new version that's slightly different from the old version. And you just got to keep buying it because it's a bit thinner. Or it's got a different app of telephone apps. What the fuck, man? Who needs telephone apps? Who needs 50 of them on their phone, 100 of them? Half these things on your phone, do you ever even touch them? Do you ever actually turn them on? But it looks good on your phone, you know. You like your phone to look full, don't you? Isn't it the case? It looks better when the front page on your phone is full of apps. It looks better than it not having any apps on it. Even though you don't use those apps and you don't know what those apps are, you just want to have them there because that is like what you're supposed to have. Have I made my point? Am I getting through to you? I hope so, man, because it ain't right, man. What is happening in the world is not right. Alright, fuck it, where's Pizza Hut? I took the blue pill. It tastes so good. So there's the Queensbay Mall, the Queensbay Mall, in all its glory. You see how fucking long it is. And over there in the distance, can you see the big wheel? So I don't know if there's some kind of fairground set up over there. I suppose I better go over and have a look. But really what I want to show you is this. That there is a bridge across to the mainland. There's two bridges. One goes across to Georgetown, and when we crossed that, the guy told us this is the longest bridge in Southeast Asia. Or even he said it, one of them anyway. And this one, assumedly, is a similar length. We're in close proximity to the airport here as well. Really close. So that obviously that's convenient. And yeah, but the interesting point is I just spoke to the guy in Pizza Hut. Oh, first of all, the serving staff, absolutely lovely. These two little scarf girls, sorry, that's probably going to cause offence, but that's me and my mate Gavin. We call them scarves, you know, they're Muslim girls, because they wear scarves on their head. And they're always just so sweet and lovely. And yeah, these girls were so sweet and lovely again, obviously speaking perfect English and just being really kind and attentive. Anyway, after that, I had a chat with the manager and I said to him, is this a new, you know, all new city sort of thing? This is an all new town? Everything is new, the mall is new, the apartments are new, everything is new, yeah? And you know what he told me, and this will be borne out by the terrain I'm walking on now, which you can't see, but you can see what I'm approaching, right? This all used to be the sea. The whole mall. The sea was around here. He said before the island was very far from the mainland, and now it's closer because all of this was built. Sand dumped on it, earth dumped on it, foundations laid, and thus the city sprung. So, quite a fascinating area. I'm glad I spent one night here. Yeah, and it, you know, I could spend more time here. I think easily, once you know a place, once you know where to go, what to do, what's hot and what's not, it gets much more fun, much more enjoyable. I started feeling Georgetown, you know. Last night I was doing my bit in the bar, played a few songs, like quite poorly, if I do say so myself, but the crowd were forgiving. But you know, it's Friday night, there was a lot of people out, looked like a lot of action to be had. It's been alright, you know, but it's all just a precursor to the main event. And the main event, my friends, is going to be Indonesia. And this time tomorrow I will be there. And that is a place so full of fucking contradiction, intrigue, history, culture, and just something to amaze you every day if you travel around it and do the right things. Now, we all know that I'm going to spend a lot of time doing the wrong things, and that unfortunately is who I am at this time in my life, but I still try to do the right things on a fairly regular basis. And if I do the right things, you are going to see some fucking brilliant videos coming out of that country. I promise you that now. So, it's good night from the Queensbay area. Good night from myself, and good night from Malaysia.
Snow goes white on the mountain, not a footprint to be seen. If you don't go by isolation, even cuts my